Welcome to the Ready Up podcast. My name is Ebbles, aka Nick.
And I'm Jackie, aka Getsy. And we're back after not podcasting since May of earlier this year.
Yep.
And well, first off, I guess I'm sorry for my appendix rupturing. That's kind of the whole reason why we didn't keep podcasting.
Yeah, that is very true.
R.I.P. my appendix is definitely not in my body anymore. And I definitely was in the hospital and everything, but it's all good.
Yeah. But, I mean, there's been just so much that has happened since our last episode. And, I mean, we went from Gamers Love Language podcast to now being the Ready Up podcast.
Yes.
Why don't you talk about kind of like why we ended up doing that shift and really just kind of getting to where we're at now from the last moment that we...
Well, I mean, like, we took our break from podcasting for a little while when we were at TwitchCon, which we're going to talk later in the episode, just kind of like what TwitchCon was like, what it was like for us as a couple, as individuals, as streamers and stuff like that. But when we were there, we definitely got like inspired, of course, because that's why you go to those kind of things. And specifically, like, it put a little fire under our behinds to podcast again. And when I remember we were driving home from the airport and we were just sitting next to each other and we were like, we kind of don't like the name of our podcast. So we just kind of like in the car, we're brainstorming because it was an hour drive from the airport back to our apartment. And I think I was the one. Was I the one that came up with the name Ready Up? Did I do that? I can't remember.
I don't know what it was. I know we were like,
we had like a lot of different names.
Yeah, we went through a couple, and I can't even begin to try and tell you how many names that were thrown out in the open there.
It was just a lot of different like gaming references and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I just remember being like, I was thinking about how like in stream and stuff, you always say like ready up, like you gonna ready up, and I was like, oh, ready up, like I feel like we're readying up. We're readying up and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I say that a lot in my streams for sure because I play with my viewers a lot and I ask them to ready up to be able to like play games and whatnot, you know. But I think the other big thing too is we wanted to change it to ready up because that just kind of fits what we're kind of inspired to do, like with why we created this podcast and the information that we're wanting to be able to give to other people and just the conversations that we even had at TwitchCon with a lot of our friends, streamers. You got to meet a lot of people that
I did. Yeah. It was so amazing.
Yeah. Just having those kinds of conversations really inspired us to say, look, Gamers Love Language was a neat kind of like start for where we wanted to like go.
Right.
However, longevity of it, I mean, yes, we're a husband-wife duo. I mean, we both have our own streams and whatnot. But the biggest thing is our podcast isn't mainly talking about like love languages and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Our podcast is really kind of directed to members who are wanting to get better at their content, how to manage that, and
wanting to start streaming and stuff like that. It just didn't really fit the vibe of like what we were going for.
I think, like, for instance, and where I was going with that is, I mean, you and I being a husband and wife, yes, that's a part of it, and how to manage a relationship within streaming is a part, but it's not the overarching aspect that we're trying to be able to provide.
Right. It's like not the only topic we're talking about. Like,
right. That was like a topic, not the thesis, not the main thing.
Not the goods.
Yeah, our main aspect is to help people get better.
Yeah. It was like the lettuce on a sandwich.
Sure.
We needed the bread.
I guess so.
Wait, what is the base of a sandwich? Is it the meat or the bread?
It's a good question. Anyways, so TwitchCon.
TwitchCon.
I mean,
2023.
Yeah.
In Las Vegas.
First TwitchCon since I think that was before COVID, or
I
can't
don't
remember
know.
the last previous
Actually,
year.
did they have one last year?
No, I know that they didn't have one prior year. So I think the last one was 2021. I think 2021.
They didn't have
TwitchCon?
one last year, so they had one in 2021.
I can't remember anymore.
Can we fact check this?
Anyways,
I'm gonna fact check this while you talk.
But so Jackie and I ended up going to TwitchCon, and that was a lot of fun. We went for all 3 days. It was held in Las Vegas, which is where we used to live for almost 2 years. And so kind of like home home area. We're very, very familiar with everything, so it wasn't nearly as scary. I'm sure everyone that went for the very first time moving and going to like Vegas was probably probably scared to some extent.
Yeah, I feel like the nerves around TwitchCon being in Las Vegas was very high, at least from the friends I was talking to. Also, there was a TwitchCon in 2022
So
in
I
San
was wrong.
Diego.
It was in
So
San
there wasn't
Diego.
one for 2020 and there was not one for 2021, but there was one in 2022 in San Diego.
So gotcha.
Yeah, just needed to put that out there.
Fair enough.
But yeah, we just like pre TwitchCon, basically, anytime we would like talk to people, there would be like, oh, I'm so excited, but I'm so nervous.
Yeah.
Like, why were people nervous? At least for me, I think for me, it was like, I have never met anybody from online before. Like, it was going to be my first time being in a physical space, representing myself as like a creator and like as somebody who knows people and as a streamer. And like, that was kind of nerve wracking. It made it really real. And I think that's why it was nerve wracking, like making me nervous the most.
Right. I I get that too. I mean, when you have so many different people that you know online, you don't know how they're going to act or
Yeah.
respond outside of that.
Mhm.
And I think there's like, I mean, I'll call it out. It's you don't know how they act offline, and that's kind of very nerve wracking. You have no idea, like, oh, you have this person, or you, I don't know, like, think of your favorite streamer, think of your favorite content creator, and then you go and see them, and then what happens in the event that that's your favorite person, but you have a negative experience when you meet them in person.
Right. Which, to make clear, we didn't have.
We
We
did not
did
have
not have that
that
at all.
But
Because
that's
we're
like the
just
thing.
speaking about our fears we had prior to going, which was so different now.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just kind of like it's that first time jitters of like not knowing what to expect and then thinking like, worst case scenarios kind of in our brain. We're kind
Right.
of pessimistic like that sometimes.
Well, I
don't
think that's
know.
just what everybody kind of thinks in just
In general?
in general
Yeah.
and naturally. I think it
I
is
think
a
it's
very
a natural fear.
100%.
Yeah, but we debunked that. It was kind of like when we got there, the community, Twitch is special in its own way that like it's so community driven
Very
and so
much.
community based. And there's no other like social media platform out there that's as connected as Twitch, I would say. And that's even what the CEO said.
Yep.
Dan Clancy
Yes.
in one of the panels we got to see with him, which was really, really cool. We'll talk more about that. But it was just like, it was so nice meeting people. People were generally like super nice. Really, they put themselves out there, whether or not you're introverted or extroverted. Like, it was just a socializing event. And that's what made it really like cool in the end. Like, that was nice. It was good. Plus, I'm extroverted. So, like, I was always wanting to talk to people.
Yeah. Well, you gotta, again, like, you gotta be so many amazing streamers that you've known within the Animal
Yeah.
Crossing community and whatnot. So that was super cool to hang out with them.
I did not expect that. Like, I didn't expect to, one, see that many people and like
Right.
make the connection that like we've all been in each other's streams before and like hanging out and walking around. It was just so fun, and it was like having a bunch of friends. Like, I'm friends with a lot of female streamers, and so like it was like having a bunch of girlfriends like meet up online to like actually meet in person and walk around, which was really, really neat. And it was nice. It was
Right.
really cool getting to see them and like giving hugs and taking pictures and just doing like normal human things
Yeah.
that a lot of the time there's not the opportunity to do that when you're so chronically online all the time. Like, it's not a thing as like content creators and streamers, sometimes I feel like we lose balance. Like, not everybody, but sometimes we do lose balance of like knowing when to get out and be with people.
Right.
And so this was kind of like really fulfilling and gave me the opportunity to like just get my love tank full, and like I felt very like happy being around people.
No, for sure. And that's like a huge ended perk, knowing that you have a bunch of people within your content space, especially within your niche,
Yeah,
that
it
are
was
going to be,
surprising. I
that
did
are
not
gonna be
expect
there.
that many people in my niche. I was like,
Like, there was a bunch of people that are from the Animal Crossing community that ended up going, which you're in Animal Crossing, primarily Disney Dreamlight Valley, but that's another like subsidiary category that you stream in quite a bit. Whereas I had the complete opposite.
Yeah.
There were some Rocket League streamers out there that that were at TwitchCon. Don't get me wrong, and there was like a huge panel. I got to be able to meet one of
Yeah.
the prior esports like
It was
team
so
members,
cool.
Rizzo, which was pretty cool.
It was
Um,
awesome. You got to challenge him.
I did.
You got to challenge him to a cool little thing with
Yep.
the chevron, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Chevron put on an entire panel, ironically, for a card game, which makes sense. But and then
Hmm.
we got free gas. We got I
We
think it
got
was
free
like
gas.
$50 or
That was
something for free
awesome.
gas, which was
Yeah.
pretty cool. But overall, like just moving on about that, one thing as like a tip in the event that you're ever planning on actually going to TwitchCon, and something that we ended up talking about a little bit ourselves, is if you plan on wanting to go, or TwitchCon is something that you are thinking about, and you ever are wanting to like just go in the future, try and find other members and orchestrate it so that you can have like a group that you can go with, because going alone can be quite terrifying. Like I
Yeah.
know that if I was to be there alone without you,
Hmm.
that would have been a like
Totally
sense.
different
It would
experience.
have been a sense or sensory overload for
Oh
me.
yeah. It would have been a lot to handle. Even for myself, I'd say like going with you, like having a partner to go with is so different from like going alone.
Yeah,
But even having a partner to go with and
it's
not a
still a
group,
lot.
it's still a lot. Like it's still so different. But once we got in with like a group of people and like we were hanging out with people, it just felt so much more
Free.
natural and free. It felt like pressure's off. Like it didn't feel as uh like it didn't have as much anxiety once we started hanging out with people because it just was like, no, I found my people. Like we're walking around, we're having fun. It just
Yeah,
felt like, ooh, I have a little group. But that's, I think that's how it is in real life too. Like people love having their little groups and stuff. And like
100%.
that's
Well,
totally
that's
a
their
natural
normal.
human want to
Yeah,
like want to have people to be with. So
exactly.
like you said, like definitely if you're thinking about going, I would.
Treat it as if you're going to Disneyland, right? You
Yes.
wouldn't go to Disneyland alone, and I mean
I
Jackie
mean,
would.
I would.
Jackie
And I
100%
would
would.
have a fun. I'd be totally fine.
Right. But it's more fun when you can go with a group of people,
Yeah.
because then you can talk about things, and
Hmm.
especially with a conventions aspect like TwitchCon, when you are able to be in a group of people, you're getting a lot of different perspectives, everybody else's opinion, and it's just kind of inherently helping each and every single
Hmm.
one of you, because you're getting things from
Right.
different perspectives, different angles, especially when you're going through the panels, and you can divide and conquer. If there's multiple different panels that are going on, and especially if you're not going to be there for all 3 days, you're only going for one day, you can divide and conquer and get all the information that you're wanting by having a group.
Yeah. It's like depending upon what you want to get out of it is how you should treat it. It's like
Yeah,
if you
100%.
want to maximize your experience, which we can talk about, maximizing your experience at TwitchCon. If you're looking for networking and connection, find a group of people, but also don't be afraid to get out of your bubble and
Yeah,
separate from that group and
100%.
like go join other groups of people. Like that is something that we did a couple of times, and it was so nice just being able to like be with different groups of people and getting to know them. But also if you're going to TwitchCon and you're going there to learn, because that was a huge goal of ours, was like we want
Yeah.
to maximize how much we're getting out of this. Is like we're not going to just hang out with people, we're going to actually like get something out of it and like learn and stuff. And
Yep.
so when you go to the panels, like what did you feel you like got out of it? Because for me it was I mean I'm a note taker. I have so many notes from
Hmm.
TwitchCon. It was really good. I got a lot. But what did you kind of like take away from like the panels? How did you feel about how they went?
Well, overall, I mean, we hit so many different panels. We hit one on how to manage your finances with being in live content creation. We hit,
Monetization.
yeah, we hit monetization, brand awareness, that kind of stuff. Like how to grow your brand,
Mm-hmm.
and monetizing your brand
We
on and
went to
off
a lot of
stream.
Q&As.
Most of those panels just inherently became Q&As.
Mm-hmm.
We went one directly that was a live open Q&A with Dan Clancy, where you just kind of got to answer people's questions about that, which was also unique. I feel like if you're going to go to a Q&A session, especially in a convention center like TwitchCon, be ready to just try and just go and ask a question. Don't get scared to ask a question,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you are looking for an answer, because all the questions that I would have asked were not brought up at all. And that's just because I have a very different
Yeah, you didn't
perspective.
ask any questions.
I did not ask any questions, and I regret it still because I know that it would have been nicer to do that. That way I could have gotten some information. But then again, a lot of the information that was at TwitchCon kind of got answered for me on like the very opening day. The opening ceremony where they were talking about live, our multicasting is now a thing where you can be able to do that.
So good.
So that's pretty
You were
neat.
so excied.
Very excited, but I also now have a completely different perspective.
I know.
I've tried actually doing simulcasting, and there are ways that you can do so, but with where I am at, it doesn't make sense for me.
No, yeah, totally.
Like, sure, yes, being live on multiple platforms is a really good thing, and it can increase your awareness or your outreach. However, if you're going to be multicasting and you don't have any content, or you don't intend to treat the other platforms that you're going to be multicasting to, what's the point? Because yes, you'll reach people when you're live, potentially, and that's a big if. But if you don't have any other content that's going to reel them back in, especially if that's the main platform. So for instance, if you're mainly a Twitch streamer and you're going to be multicasting to YouTube, to Instagram, to TikTok, to Facebook, which you can do, by the way, but you have no other presence on Facebook, you have no other presence on Instagram, you have no other presence on YouTube, and Twitch is your main platform, what is that doing for you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that was like our biggest takeaway is like kind of stripping back what we've already established to focus on other things, which was really interesting. I didn't think that that was going to happen. Like I don't know what I was expecting to get from TwitchCon, but basically like leaving there, it was very motivating and like encouraging, but at the same time also like it made me kind of take a step back and really evaluate like what am I putting my time and energy into, what's important, what's going to actually propel me into success in a career in content creation versus like what do I feel like is right versus what is actually going to work.
Right.
So it's an interesting balance. It's an interesting balance for sure.
100%. And my biggest takeaway that was something that Dan Clancy was talking about was Twitch is the best platform for community. And that is what they're aiming for. And that is like their biggest goal, is to have the best online platform to build community. And that was like a huge cool thing. So like they just rolled out another neat feature, which we already kind of dabbled in a little bit together on, which is Stream Together, which is kind of a new version of Discord in a way. Basically, you can be able to send out a Stream Together link to another streamer friend of yours, and they can come into this live, like it's just a browser, and then you can talk to them through that browser. Very similar to Discord if you're familiar with that platform. But the cool thing about it is that when you do Stream Together, it will inherently put the other person's live name in your like title. So like right underneath your title, it will say who you're streaming together with. And what they're planning on actually rolling out is merged viewership on that too.
Merged viewership and merged chat eventually for just Twitch.
Correct.
Which was really amazing. And we've tried it a couple of times now. I personally love that new feature.
No, I think it's going to be
I mean, it's not new. It's been around, but they're getting better at it. And I thought that was like the coolest thing.
Yeah, it's just a new overhaul to Guest Star if you're familiar with Guest Star. But the other interesting thing that I can't remember the or the question that was asked on it, but it was at the Dan Clancy panel, and it was around multicasting, and it was essentially along the lines of, I remember the answer, so I'll start at the answer and maybe you can remember the question. But basically, Dan ended up stating something along the lines of, with Stream Together and other platforms, the requirement is that you cannot have a merged chat showing on your actual stream. So you can't have, like if you're live streaming on Twitch, you can't have YouTube chat showing on your stream. You can't have Kick chat.
Someone was just asking why, like, or about why we can't have a merged
it was in the
chat
terms of service
between like YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch all at the same time.
Correct.
Yeah.
And the answer that Dan ended up providing was they have no
control.
They have no control over what other platforms are going to be saying
Yeah.
on the app
Not other
platform,
platforms, but other people
on the
on
other
other
platforms.
platforms. Yeah.
Since it's not Twitch and you're showing YouTube chats, Kick chats, Facebook chats, and somebody decides to come in and say something out of left field, you are liable as the streamer because you are the one that's choosing to show other chats on the platform of Twitch.
Right.
And since it's not inherently on Twitch, Twitch has no legal action that they can take against that viewer
Other
because it's
than
on their platform.
Yeah, other than just taking out your stream, basically.
So
Yeah.
if someone comes in
I
and
mean, it
says
makes
something
sense.
out of left field on YouTube and you're showing that on Twitch,
Mm-hmm.
you are the bypass. You are the middleman that allowed that comment from YouTube to show up on Twitch. Ergo, you are responsible for what that person said. And that is actually the other thing that they're rolling out too. And what was talked about is third-party platforms, even like Discord. If you are in a Discord call with somebody and they start to say really, really bad things, you are liable as the streamer and
It's like the
held
same
accountable
thing. Mm-hmm.
because it's not inherently utilized through Twitch. If you're doing stream together and somebody comes into your stream together, they're accountable because it's through their Twitch account.
Yeah.
And it's a protectionary thing
Mm-hmm.
for
Which
you.
I'm so glad they're adding. I
Right.
think it's a really good thing. And I totally understand why they're moving in this direction.
100%. So if you are a live streamer that likes to play with other people or other streamers or even your viewers, you can actually invite your viewers in. You can have an entire thing where your viewers can ask to join through Stream Together.
Mm-hmm.
They can chat with you live on stream. You can show their own like webcam if that's something that you want to do. You can also opt out to have it just audio only. That way it is a protectionary. So if someone decides to come in and try and be really sus or say really bad things, you're not liable as long as you take action against it. You get them off, you can report them, and Twitch will protect you against that. If it's Discord or any other platform, just know that you are taking that risk.
It's different. Yeah. That was a good thing that we got out of it.
No, that was a huge one.
Huge.
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 So what was another takeaway that you ended up getting from TwitchCon?
I think from remembering, like, my favorite panel was Path to Partner.
Yep.
It was, I will say, a lot of the panels, I think, are things we already know. Like, I just want to say that for those who like think you're going to go there and hear something groundbreaking. Like, I think, yes, if you're super new to Twitch and you don't know anything, it's going to be the most groundbreaking experience. You're going to hear things that you've never heard before.
Right.
But if you're like doing the research, you know, if you've been listening to our podcast, if you have been in the game for a while, a lot of the panels are stuff we already know. Especially, I would say, like, as like mid-tier streamers, like it's stuff we already know, and it's not stuff that we can actually like implement because we've already implemented these things.
Like even the burnout, like our previous episode, that was our last episode, that's on Spotify or on our YouTube channel that you can go and check out, was literally called Burnout. There was a panel on burnout, and it was pretty much like if you just go and listen to that previous episode, you have that same.
It's the same,
pretty much
it's
the
all
same
the
stuff.
same. It's all the same stuff. However, the Path to Partner panel was very interesting because they really hit home on like what makes you unique.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of the time we put ourselves in boxes or bubbles.
Yep.
And fit in with a group of people and have a hard time like becoming our own and like not like, do you get what I'm trying to say? It's just kind of like sometimes we get in a groove of like my stream is just this way and like I like the way it is, and we're not willing to change. Like sometimes I get stuck in this of like I'm kind of afraid to change this part of my stream because I don't know what people are going to think about it. And so it's just kind of like not being afraid to make changes, to try new things. Like I remember that was a big thing we talked about after one of the panels was like, I shouldn't be as
stream
scared.
Like a boss panel that we went to.
I can't remember which one it was, but I remember us being like, it said like, you can't be scared of the analytics to try new things. That was like the first time, that was the most real thing I remember hearing, because a lot of the time it felt kind of surface level. A lot of the stuff they were saying just seemed like, you know, they were answering like they didn't want to give away all the secrets. I'm just going to call it out. Sometimes, a lot of the time I was just listening. I was like, no, there's more. Like
100%.
there's definitely like you have a secret and you're keeping it, and I know you are,
Well,
because there is an element to success. There is an element to,
oh, it's all competition.
you know what I mean?
I
Well,
mean,
yeah. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, like, again, not to sugarcoat this, and everybody, I mean, again, don't don't take what I say here as it is for face value. Everybody on stream, everybody that's a streamer, everybody that's on Twitch or any what platform, you ideally your best case scenario is you hit virality, you grow a platform, and you can be able to do that full time. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
what everybody wants to do.
Yeah.
Not every like what that looks like for you is very different. Like some
From
people can
somebody
hit,
else.
yeah,
Yeah.
like for us
And
living
that's
in
okay.
California, that's very different than somebody else that lives elsewhere. I mean, some people can hit full-time streamer and full-time content creator at like
It
as an
doesn't,
affiliate.
yeah, it literally doesn't even,
But the biggest
yeah,
thing
there's no
is
threshold for what success is because each success is different for each person.
exactly.
Yeah.
But when there is things that make you unique as a streamer and you have specifics that you've started to implement that you're starting to see good transaction with,
Mm-hmm.
and then other people are asking you questions on like, well, what is it that you're doing? A part of you as a streamer is a little reluctant to share.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just inherent. Like
Yeah.
that's like, hey, what's your secret
Which they did
sauce?
talk about a little
Yeah.
bit. They did talk about like, oh, I can't remember who it was who said it, but they said something along the lines of like, no, you should share with them like what you did,
Yep.
but share a YouTube link being like, I learned how to do it through this. Like,
Let me Google that for
let me
you.
Google. It was like so funny because there were a lot of streamers who were like, oh, I feel like it's push and pull. There's some streamers who like love sharing exactly how they did
Like
something,
us.
like us. And then there's some people who are like, actually, like, I took the steps to learn how to do that.
Yep.
Now you need to as well. Like, I'm not just going to give the secret sauce. So I realized that, like, in the panels, a lot of the time, the secret sauce was hidden. But there was that one point where we heard somebody say, share.
It was the guy from the Stream Like a Boss where it's like, if someone copies you, take it as a compliment.
As a compliment. Well, I wasn't even going there. I lost what I was saying.
The secret sauce aspect, again, it
No,
was probably,
there was something before that.
I don't know.
It's fine. I can't remember, but there was just this one thing. Oh, what was it? My one big takeaway.
Your one big takeaway?
My one big takeaway. There was like this quote I remember someone said. Dang it.
Well,
The thought train has left the station. Okay.
it'll probably come back to you at some point.
Choo-choo. It's fine.
But
I'll
again,
remember.
my biggest thing and my biggest takeaway was, and I think it was from Path to Partner, and you started to speak on it a little bit, was don't worry about the analytics. Don't pigeonhole yourself to
That
one
was it.
category.
That was it.
Go ahead.
That was it. That was it. The streamer that was on the panel had said to, if something isn't working, then try something different, and to stop being afraid of what it's going to do to your analytics,
Yep.
because you're not going to find your thing if you don't try different things.
Yep.
And you can't just like sit paralyzed because you're afraid of losing what you already have. Like you're just on like that breaking point of like that breakthrough that you're looking for. And so that definitely changes the perspective for me, is like, it's okay that like I've been in the 40s to 50s to 60s up and down for the last couple of months. Is like,
Yeah.
that's okay, because I keep trying new things, but I'm getting closer to finding who I am as a streamer, which is honestly more encouraging than anything. And like, I think before I was kind of afraid of like, oh, well, I would hit a certain like threshold of like average viewership or like live viewers or something, or just any kind of analytics, and I'd get so happy because I'd be like, oh my gosh, like we like hit this new thing that I've never done before. Then it would go back down, which was so normal and natural, and I just didn't really understand why. But now I see that like, well, it's because like maybe that wasn't my kind of thing, or maybe that just wasn't my niche, or maybe that just wasn't the right
It's a
timing
variable
or
outside of
something.
your control.
Yeah, it's a variable outside of my control. Also, different times of the year changes those kinds of things too. And so it was just so, at TwitchCon, it was just really encouraging to be reminded that like it's an up and down process,
Yep.
and that that's okay. And because I know there might be somebody listening who's like, well, I've been doing like all the right things. Like you could be doing all the right things, but there's things outside of our control.
Correct.
And also like there's perfect timing for everything. So just
Yep.
have peace with that. That's where I'm at in my streaming journey. Is like just having peace with like the fun that I'm having and putting my energy into what I love, and that, you know, the connections I'm making mean so much more than ever before with my viewers and with other streamers. Like that's just been the best thing ever. So yeah, my biggest takeaway was just kind of like releasing the pressure off of myself, like a lot.
Yep.
Like a lot. But at the same time, I can't be lazy because I've kind of gotten a little lazy. Like I'm a little bit like in a frumpy mood lately. I'll just be so honest. Like I've just been a little frump, and I got to get out of my frump because I just got to, it's so hard to have a balance of like, you know, being on the grind. Do you know what I mean? Like some people are just like, go, go, go. And I'm just kind of like, I just want peace. But at the same time, I want to work towards my goals and stuff like that. So I'm having a little bit, I don't know. Do you ever experience that where you're just like, I want to give my 100%, but I almost feel like I can't right now?
I feel like it's a very normal thing, and we kind of hit that at a vague level at our previous episode for burnout. And you've been experiencing burnout heavy. I mean, we went to TwitchCon, inspiration hit. You had some pretty amazing, spectacular streams that you ended up doing. But, I mean, life is life. I mean, we're adults, we're married, we have bills to pay, we have things to try and pay off, like our cars and other debt. And that's really real. And when you go and work a 9-to-5 job, and then you're wanting to go on and try and be able to like get filled up by streaming, sometimes streaming is as amazing as it is, it can be like another thing that can be a little draining. And it's not draining in the sense that you're able to connect with viewers. That's not what I mean by draining whatsoever. It's the accountability that we hold ourselves to of, hey, I'm wanting to entertain. I want to be able to pour out and pour into my community that I have. And
because
that
that's our
can be
goal, is
a
loving
lot.
others first.
Correct.
For every stream, that's our goal. And sometimes I'm not full enough in my own life to like be able to pour out and continue to do that. So it's just been trying to find a balance since TwitchCon of like how to better manage my own personal life and be more accountable and more responsible in my own life.
And one thing that we ended up hearing from that is, in those moments when you're wanting accountability, you can lean on your community. And I know that I can speak on behalf of your community that they would 100% hold you accountable to things if you put it on them.
Oh, that was one of the things at the panels. Do you remember that?
That's what I just said.
That's right. Oh wait, did you just say that?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Have your viewers hold you accountable.
Not me being just like piggybacking off of what you're saying and like totally stealing it and being like, oh yeah, and then this.
Literally, no. Like I think that was in Path to Partner. It's like, and that can be anything, right? Like you're wanting to be healthier. You want to have a better fitness journey. Have your community hold you accountable. Hey, did you go to the gym today?
Yeah, put it in the Discord.
Literally, put it in the Discord, and they will 100% do so. And with your little knife emoji, like do it.
Do it. My little Kirby knife emoji, where they're just like, Jackie, what are you doing?
But that's one thing that you could do. And the other big thing that I'm starting to realize too with my community is there are going to be some nights where it's just like, I don't have much left in the tank. I don't have much left to kind of pour out. On those nights too, and we've had conversations, like some of the nights where you feel like I just don't want to stream. Like the last thing I want to do right now is go live, hit the go live button and like try and put on a show. Some of the time, if you can lean on your community, you'd be surprised and shocked as to what can happen.
My experience with that is that every time I feel like not going live and then I go and I tell them that, they freaking make me feel so loved. And that's so sweet. Like they do, that is not their job. Their job is to be there to have some fun and enjoy the stream.
100%.
But they just are the most kind, sweetest people on earth. Like anytime I feel down, they're just there for me.
100%.
And vice versa. Like I'm there for them. Like we've got each other's backs. And so it's nice knowing that. It's nice having that as, you know, as a reminder that that I do have that, and that those people are there for me. So yeah, that's a really cool thing.
100%.
We're lucky.
Very much so. But
can I ask you, if you could go to TwitchCon and do something different, what would that be? Like, what would you do differently next year? TwitchCon 2024.
I guess the biggest thing that I want to do is I want to try and connect more with other live streamers that are within my niche.
In your niche. Yeah.
That way I can be able to meet them, be able to, because that was like one of the biggest things that ended up happening when I got back. I started meeting and like networking with other content creators within my category, and they went to TwitchCon, and then it was just like, oh, you were at TwitchCon because I saw the badge, and they were just like, oh, that's such a shame, we could have met. That's something that I want to try and avoid. The other big thing too is I want to try and make it to where rather than it just being you and I want to actually like better plan for it. Like actually like either get an Airbnb and like host and be able to have like a group of people that can stay with us.
And throw like a community party at like a bar or somewhere or something, like a restaurant. Like do
our own little
reservation.
Meet and greet.
Yeah, like really set it up to where like we could host a party and just like have fun and have people.
And like my overall stretch goal is a lot of those, if you're not familiar, the panels, those are put on by streamers. That's put on by partners. Like there were affiliates that were panelists that were speaking on behalf, most of which were partner though. And also like members in the event of Twitch staff and whatnot. But my goal is actually to get you and myself to create a panel.
I know.
Like,
I would love that.
That would be super
that would
cool.
be
maybe
that's
not
next year.
Not next year. I don't know if
or the year after that. Well, like 5-year goal.
Yeah.
It's in the 5-year goal.
Exactly.
When we were just we took notes on every panel. We voice memoed them.
Yep.
Like
we went crazy.
We went crazy. Okay. And we just kept looking at each other being like, we could do this. Like we could take every single panel. Well, not every single, because some were very niche to where like we definitely couldn't speak on, like, you know, like you couldn't do a woman's panel. You know what I mean? Like,
very, very
like
true.
There would be things we couldn't do. But majority of the panels, we were like, we could do this. Like, and even we're thinking about taking some of the panel topics and making some podcast episodes about them.
So
of
let
like
us know
our
if that's
version.
Something that you would be interested in.
Yeah. Like our version of
it's like even when
a panel.
Not to like poor speak, because again they went out of, for me and you, it kind of felt like a granular level because we have had conversations very, very in depth on how to manage things. So like when we went to the financial one, people were talking about like don't leverage your money, open up Roth IRAs, open up like other accounts, like invest into stocks and whatnot, and that's all great information. But you and I,
that's base level.
Yeah, for us, that's base level.
Because we've already had those conversations.
I wanted to like go in there and be able to like, okay, how do you take your
what
money?
What did you invest in?
Yeah, what's a good ratio of putting the money that you earn on stream and putting that into gear, gifted subs, and like community giveaways? Like, what would be the healthy ratio there?
Yeah.
How do you plan for tax? Like, none of that was talked about.
Yeah.
And those are the kinds of
real
things,
stuff we're thinking about as streamers. Also, they did make a point. Who said it? Someone said, stop calling yourself a small streamer. And I was like,
that is true.
I was like, guys, we got to stop doing that. I mean, I don't do that anymore. I'm like, we got to stop doing that. But like streamers, us as streamers, not small streamers, but us as streamers, that's what we're thinking about. Those other small things. Like, I think the baseline stuff is really good, but I was expecting more.
And that's where it's like, we're excited to be able to get back on and have this podcast up and running again.
Yeah.
So we can talk about those kinds of things.
Sorry, we've been gone.
But I mean, let us know though, if you have any other major questions, anything that you're kind of like, hey, what did you learn on this particular topic within TwitchCon or anything? I mean, like the other entire thing that we didn't even speak on is the Twitch party.
Yeah. Well, we can do a little quick. We'll just do a quick little. Let's do a quick
fire
little
round.
Like speed fire round. Yeah. Okay. So, how'd you like the Twitch party?
Twitch party was pretty.
It was epic.
Yeah,
It was sick.
honestly, for the $100 that it cost and getting the like 3 different drink vouchers,
dude. And where they hosted it, which is Area 15
at Vegas.
Yeah, and we've been there
Super
before
worth it.
because we used to live in Vegas.
Honestly,
That
super
place
worth.
is so fun, and
For
it was a vibe.
it-
The music rooms they had
it
two
went
different.
hard.
They had like
It was
4
like a
DJs.
Fat rager.
It was a fat rager.
But you
It
got
was pretty
3
cool.
different drink tickets for. It was $100 add-on, for the 3-day pass.
Was it worth it?
I mean, 3 drinks.
I think
those
it was worth
were
it.
At Area 15.
I got sips.
Those freaking drinks were probably like $18 to $20 right
Oh,
then
more.
and there.
Like 25 each.
Like, they were hard drinks.
Yeah. Yeah. No cocktails, no mixed drinks. It was just like, liquor and tonic
was-
kind of a thing.
yeah.
We did gin and tonics the whole night. Hendrix
much.
gin and tonics.
So 3 of those right then and there, that's almost $60. So you got into the party for $40, and then everything was pretty much free. You could do axe throwing for free. So it was like 100%
Omega Mart.
100% worth it.
And they had all the food.
Yeah.
There was just a lot. There was golf. I wanted to golf so bad,
Yeah,
but
there
it was so
free
busy.
food, free music.
I will say it was super busy.
It was
Long
very
lines for
crowded.
everything.
Yeah,
But if you got there on time and like enjoyed it, it was such a vibe.
100%.
It was such a vibe, and I think it was worth the amount. So next year I'll definitely be doing Twitch party again because that
but we'll
was
have a
pretty cool.
much bigger group
Yeah, we'll go with a crew.
rather than it would just be you and myself.
Shout out to Jordan when we were in line. I don't know if you're listening, Jordan, but we were in line for TwitchCon. I got a DM on Instagram from a streamer
right.
friend, and he was like, "Are you at the TwitchCon party?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Are you wearing sparkly heels?" And I was like, "Yeah."
And then we turn around.
I turned around and he
Jordan.
was standing right there. So that was like cool. It was like you just ran into so many cool people. We ran into Neat McKinley,
That we
which
did.
is Russ, which was really cool. Russell was there, so we got to meet him. I was just walking with my little drink, and he
And
was
then you're
like,
just like,
"Oh,
I
hey,
know you.
I know you," and I was like, "Oh my god!" It was just so cool. It was just like amazing running into
No,
people.
he has such a bubbly
He
personality.
was
He's
so
so sweet.
kind. He was so kind.
And
I
we
will
got to
say,
hang out with him a little bit more at TwitchCon.
at TwitchCon.
And that was
Yeah,
super cool.
it was super cool. It was just so nice. Like every person we met,
So sweet.
so sweet. I would name literally everybody, but that would take me an hour,
Probably.
more than an hour, to name every single person. But you know who you are. Our
Yeah.
close few friends that we got to know and hang out, and Korean
Olive.
barbecue, our Korean barbecue crew.
Yeah. Little bird.
We had a great time. It was super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely I want to next year stay in a house
Yeah.
with
Get-
other streamers.
Get community members.
And I want to have more conversations, like real, deep, analytical conversations with people.
Yep.
Because I feel like sometimes my fear is like staying surface level. I always love getting deep with people, like actually getting to know them. So like
Right.
I feel like I did that. I definitely had conversations with people like that. I would love to have more.
100%.
I would
And
love to do that
The way
more.
that you can have more is if you're staying with other members
Mhm.
and being able to have late night conversations
One-on-ones and like
over some drinks.
some cute little like little tiny fire pit convos
100%.
with a guitar.
It-
You ever
uh-huh.
bring the guitar?
But those are like those. So that's kind of what we're
Yeah.
thinking on, and like who knows where we'll be when next TwitchCon happens. But we're already super stoked and excited for that.
Yes.
And so I hope this kind of episode brings some inspiration to you, and our community members that are
Mm-hmm.
wanting to potentially go. We 100% recommend it, even
Please
if it's
go with
not.
us. Go
Even if
with
it's not for
us.
all 3 days, like if you could get a single day pass, we've heard like the tickler out there is that it's going to be in San Diego next year.
I
So-
hope so. Honestly, I hope so. Like as much
Beach
as we love
vibes.
Vegas, San Diego's so great.
Yeah.
We can do a little
Good
beach
food.
house,
That would be pretty fun.
all the good food,
But-
and then the what is it called? Gas lamp district?
I don't know.
The lamp district? The gas lamp? I can't remember. Gaslight district?
Something.
Something. The downtown. Great vibes. Good bar hopping.
So-
we got to do it.
But again, if you have any other major questions or something along the lines of like, what did you learn
Let
at
us know.
TwitchCon or anything
Let us
along
know.
those lines, let us know.
We'll definitely talk more about it. We'll go into more detail about each panel because we have notes on notes on notes.
Yeah.
But before we go, can you give us a little update about like your favorite things currently, how you're doing
Yeah,
with stream? Give us an update about where you're at with streaming
sure.
as far as like your followers, because it's been a couple months. There's a lot different. Like I listened to our last episode today
Yeah.
and I was like, girl, I was like, whoa, things have changed like a lot. And we're 9 months, right? Are we 9 months into streaming?
No, you're 9 months. I'm
You're
almost at
10
my year.
months. You're almost at 1 year. Oh my
1 year will
God.
be start of January
Oh my
next year.
God. You're almost at 1 year. That's crazy.
Yup.
Time's flying. Okay. Give
But
us an update about life before we go.
update
Speed
on
round.
my content has changed a lot. I have after TwitchCon, I just kind of went into like this whole thing on. I want to say it was almost like analysis paralysis. It's like I have so many thoughts going through my head. One panel was even talking about it's like you wouldn't just turn on the TV and expect to watch your favorite show, and then your favorite show is just like SpongeBob standing there, just like, "Hey, how's it going? What are we doing
I'm
tonight?
normal.
Oh, we're doing that. Okay, let's go and do that." No, like planning
Yeah.
content, like actually being intentional with your content and
That's good.
making it a show.
That's good.
But I went down like a whole entire like deep dive on dang, now I have to do all this other kind of stuff, but I wrapped my head around it pretty well. I've been doing pretty damn good on making sure I'm posting on every other one of my socials.
You're doing so great.
Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. I'm posting
An
everywhere.
inspiration.
So, and I am planning on putting out some other content. So, for those of you that are listening, whether you're on Spotify or YouTube, my intention is actually going to be posting a lot more YouTube content on our Ready Up podcast YouTube channel,
Yep.
specifically around streamer stuff. So stream gear, stream advice, stream help, settings, optimization, that kind of stuff. I'm going to have tutorials and all those kinds of things on our YouTube channel, just as additional bonus content that is going to be beneficial to anyone who's planning on wanting to live stream.
That's going to help me so much.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Like
that's troubleshooting,
so OBS
Thank
settings,
you.
sponsorship opportunities,
yes.
those kinds of things. I'm in the process of a video right now.
because you love doing those stream elements, sponsorships and stuff like that, breaking it down and stuff like that. Right. Yeah, that's awesome.
So doing that kind
of
stuff.
And you hit 3,000 followers on Twitch.
I actually just hit 3.7 last stream.
That's wild.
And you're at a pretty high number too. So same question back to you.
Well, okay. So for me, I'm still in my DDV era. Like I love Disney Dreamlight Valley. Still playing that. Still playing Animal Crossing. I've been kind of like trying to figure out like what I like as far as games. I'm having game burnout, which is so annoying. I'm like, can I just like enjoy video games again?
Right.
I'm in like like when you play The Sims too long and then you stop playing The Sims and then you binge it again for a year and then you stop playing it. Like I'm kind of like in that era, but I'm getting out of it, hopefully. I really want to get a couple games on the Switch. I've been very interested. There's a lot of like cozy games. Lots of them came out this year. So I feel like oversaturated, overwhelmed with the games.
Right.
But it's been fine. It's been good. I'm really into Christmas. Merry Christmas. What is it? When this comes out, it's going to be what day for you guys? It's going to be the 18th of November, I'm pretty sure. So like Merry Christmas, you guys. Happy Thanksgiving. And so the last time we had a podcast, I was at 700 followers on Twitch.
Dang.
Yeah.
You, I think, have grown like 2,000.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
I'm almost at 2,700 followers now on Twitch in that amount of time.
You've
so
hit
like
1,000 on TikTok.
Yeah, I'm almost at 2,000. I'm 4 away from 2K on TikTok.
Wow.
So like lots have been happening. My goal, okay, here's my goal. Keep me accountable, you guys. My goal is to get to 3K on TikTok so that I can dual stream, so that I can stream from OBS on TikTok. That's my goal.
Well, I actually just found out from somebody, and I don't know if it's true or not, but from what
I've
heard,
the keys.
Well, no, not that, is that TikTok actually will push live streams native from phones as a priority over anybody that has a stream key or OBS.
Interesting. I did not know that.
Let's do a research about it. Just learn.
Let's do a research about it because, well, I do live stream on TikTok and I love it. That is like one of my favorite things. I love TikTok more than I love YouTube. So I'm just kind of like focusing on TikTok and Twitch. That's my thing. That's what I'm doing. So yeah, I'm really proud of like my goals I've hit and everything. And yeah, we're close to 3K on Twitch. Yep. How long ago was that? May, June, July, August, September, October, November. 6 months ago.
Yep.
In 6 months, we grew That's crazy.
A little bit.
That like kind of blows my mind away. But yeah, a little update for the holidays. For the holidays for stream for me, I'm doing for Thanksgiving, we're doing a donation goal for giving families Thanksgiving dinners. So that's something that I'm doing in my stream.
Yep.
Then we have Twitchmas. I don't know. Are you doing Twitchmas? Or are you not?
I don't know.
I'm doing Twitchmas. So December 1st through the 20th, I'm live streaming every day. And we have a bunch of different events going on. So we also like December 5th is Disney Dreamlight Valley update. That's going to be a 12-hour stream. December 7th is a new Sims expansion pack, which is going to be another long stream. Like we have Taylor Swift's birthday, December 13th. We should shout out our Secret Santa. We have a Secret Santa through Throne Exchange. So if you guys want to exchange gifts with us for Christmas, we'll have the link in the, in kind of like the description of our
YouTube channel.
You can also do it on Spotify as well. So if you're listening on Spotify, you can check the description of this episode.
We'll put it there.
And as well on the description on YouTube. So if you're listening on either one, you should be able to click that link. Basically what happens is you sign up, and then on I believe the 10th of December, the signups end. Then you get assigned someone that you can gift a gift to. And it's great because it hides all of your shipping like stuff, and
it
like
just
all
keeps
those
you
things. It keeps
safe.
you safe.
So if you're wanting to participate, it's $10, and you click on that link, and you will be able to participate, and you're guaranteed to get a gift in exchange.
Also, for disclosure, we don't make any money doing this. The $10 goes towards the gift that you're buying for that person. It's like a credit to like lock you in, basically. So it goes towards the gift you're buying for them. We don't make any like revenue off of this or anything.
No, this is
we just wanted to be able to
event.
like have a fun community thing to like, I love Christmas, so I'm like, I wanted to do something special like this. So we have that going on during Twitchmas, and then Nick and I were going on a lovely family vacation at the end of the year. And then we're celebrating 2 years of marriage. So those are kind of like our life updates and that. But thanks guys for listening to this episode of the pod. We'll definitely catch you next time.
And if you haven't listened to any of our other prior ones, we still really stand by a lot of that information. But again, hit us up with any kind of questions, comments, anything. You can join our Discords. You can check the link trees and get plugged in with our communities. That way we can be able to connect with you. And we're really excited to see what this new year and just
happy holidays
thing brings.
Happy holidays and happy gaming.
Yes.
Thanks for watching, and thanks for listening. We'll catch you guys on the next episode of Ready Up Podcast. Bye.
Bye, guys.